Hello, my name is Tom, Community Manager at Urban Games. Welcome to the third development highlights video. As we showed in the last two videos, we wanted to give the player as much flexibility and freedom as possible. At the same time, mastering challenges and adapting to demands is an important part of any tycoon game. In Transport Fever 2, this is mainly carried out in the simulation of cities and industries. Cities play a central role in the game. Fulfilling demands encourages city growth. In contrast, not taking care of demands might cause cities to shrink. An important goal was to make city demand interesting and engaging and at the same time easy to understand. Thus, demands are broken down into three categories. The first category is transport, which is split into two parts: private and public transport. Inhabitants need to travel from their home to their workplace in the industrial zone, or they want to spend their free time in the commercial zone. They take the journey by either car or with lines and vehicles provided by the player. The more destinations inhabitants can reach, the better. To visualize the reachability, a new layer was introduced, which shows the path inhabitants take. Improving roads and expanding the passenger network by building new lines are just two examples that help to fulfill this demand. The second category is the demand for cargo. Industries from several different cargo chains with increasing complexity are waiting to be connected by the player. Resources must be picked up from source industries and delivered to manufacturing industries. Incomplete chains function, but in order to increase the size and production of industries, the player has to make sure that produced items are delivered to another factory or a city. This is also shown in the new cargo flow layer. With growing cities or an expanded network, it might get necessary to increase the capacity of the existing lines. However, not all industries increase their production at the same rate. At some point, it will get necessary to connect new source industries to the network to keep up with the demand. The third category is quality. Firstly, the player has to take care of the throughput of the transport network, as overcrowded stations will decrease the quality. And secondly, cars stuck in traffic jams on congested roads is also considered a factor hindering city growth. Last but not least, vehicles generate emissions, and of course inhabitants dislike high emissions. Thus, they should be kept at a minimum in residential areas. Several new layers will help to find the weakest points. There are always various approaches to tackle challenges. For example, vehicles can be replaced with more modern models with lower emissions. Another way to reduce emissions is to change the takeoff and approach direction for aircraft on airports. Also, tracks and highways can be moved away from residential areas or put into tunnels to avoid emissions on the surface completely. All demands depend on each other. For example, improving public transport will add emissions from player vehicles. If inhabitants then no longer use their cars, traffic jams get less frequent. So, to maximize city growth, a look at the bigger picture is required. We spent a lot of time developing and refining the new simulation, and we hope this video was a good introduction to this important part of the game. We are looking forward to showing you more of the game. Thank you all very much for your attention and your interest in our game. All the best from the whole team at Urban Games, and until next time, bye bye.